WJCL 22 News' Andy Cole has been covering this story from the start. He's live at the Chatham County Jail right now. And Andy, the jury spent about 2 days deliberating.
Shannon, it was a massive undertaking for those jurors. They spent about 2 hours deliberating yesterday and another 5 today before siding with the prosecution and delivering a guilty verdict on all counts. 8 days of testimony, 34 witnesses, and about 100 pieces of evidence. That's what the 12 men and women of the jury were up against. But after 7 hours,
we, the jury, find as follows: malice murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 2, felony murder. We find the defendant guilty.
Judge Tammy Stokes reading the verdict as defendant Leilani Simon stands like a statue with barely any emotion until the jury left the room. Jurors ultimately sided with the prosecution, believing Leilani beat her 20-month-old toddler son to death before throwing his body in a trailer park dumpster and lying about it all for weeks. Prosecutors Tim Dean and Jenny Parker telling the jury Leilani was in the midst of a drug-induced bender when Quentin was killed. The state saying she did it so that men would give her the attention she so craves.
She couldn't get that need fulfilled. She couldn't feel better about herself. So instead, she does something so drastic. She killed Quentin. And in the act of killing Quentin, she became a sympathetic person and got Danny's attention back.
The state presented FBI interviews, text messages, security video, and GPS data that they say show Leilani was the only adult awake the night of October 4th into the 5th, making her the only one able to have killed the 20-month-old. Defense attorneys Martin Hilliard and Robert Purse taking a very different approach, trying to sow doubt with the jury, not even presenting a defense for their client beyond cross-examination.
The state had to concede that in their closing argument that they don't know what happened. You cannot speculate someone into a guilty verdict.
Nearly 36 witnesses took the stand. Among the highlights was one of Quentin's babysitters, 17-year-old Talia McCarta. She testified that Leilani was abusive to Quentin.
We would have Quentin for weeks at a time at our house. She never called to check on Quentin, but we never complained about it because we really enjoyed Quentin being at our house, being able to love on him.
Emotions were heavy when Chatham County police officer Zofia Zerke took the stand. She found the first of Quentin's remains, later identified as his skull.
Tell me what it felt like to see that little piece of Quentin's skull and pick it up and realize what it was.
It was heartbreaking.
Was it rewarding also?
And I'm here now at the Chatham County Jail where Leilani Simon sits behind me and will remain until sentencing can happen. Once sentenced, she could spend the rest of her life, or much of the rest of her life, behind prison walls. Here in Savannah, I'm Andy Cole, WJCL 22 News.